Clemson's Carolina Yards program is about environmentally friendly landscaping, working with the environment rather than against it. Today we're visiting with Lyn Pesterfield, winner of the 2017 Carolina Yard of the Year contest. Lyn, thanks so much for inviting us out to your yard.
Thank you for coming out today, Teresa. It's a pleasure to have you.
Well, you shared some photographs with us of what the yard looked like 5 years ago. It is much different today. Tell us a little bit about the motivation for that transformation.
Well, I've been moving towards using less chemicals and planting more trees and shrubs since my son got too big to need grass to play in. And when I moved in here, there was just 6 shrubs in front of the house and all grass. And after taking some different classes and meeting a permaculturalist at the gas station, and then having a monarch make a chrysalis and hatch in my garage here 2 years ago, I decided I needed to do something different than just have grass. So I decided to make the whole front yard a garden for pollinators and wildlife.
And it certainly is. You have really taken the right plant, right place principle to heart. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. Well, in previous gardens I've spent a lot of time dragging hoses around and paying large water bills. And the Carolina Yard course made me realize that right plant, right place could save me a lot of work and also be better for the wildlife. So I've tried to have plants in this garden that are drought resistant, that don't get too big to overwhelm the yard, and that are native to our area, or at least friendly to our native pollinators, including hummingbirds and goldfinches and bees and butterflies.
And speaking of wildlife, this is like wildlife heaven out here. There are bees around us, a number of different species. There are butterflies. I've seen or heard birds chirping in the background. What are some of your favorite plants for those wildlife?
One of the favorites is right next to you here. The Korean hyssop is the bees love it, and the hummingbirds. The lantana behind you is also a favorite for the butterflies.
It's gorgeous too.
Yes.
Such beautiful colors on that Miss Huff lantana.
Yes, it is. And it's hardy. It comes back in our zone up here in the upstate, so that's good.
I know that's something I look for as a gardener, is something that I'm not going to have to constantly work to get it to come back and perform well in the yard.
Correct.
Lyn, you've got another one of my favorites here in your yard, the echinacea, or people might know it by purple coneflower.
Yes, I do. I have 2 varieties of it, a tall one and a short one. And they're wonderful because they make beautiful flowers that the bees and the butterflies like. And then when the seeds dry, the goldfinches come and eat the seeds in the fall.
Fantastic. You know, some people might say your garden is a little messy because you have some coneflowers, the flowers have really gone past their prime and it's looking a little black, but you keep them.
I do.
And that's because the birds are then going to take advantage of those seeds, right?
That's correct. The goldfinches wait for the seeds to be dried and then they'll come eat them. When the coneflowers are stripped of the seeds, then I will deadhead.
So there's some advantages to being a little bit of a messy gardener.
Yes, there are. Less work.
Do you have any other favorites?
I also love the sedum that you see around here in different places in the yard. It's very low maintenance, drought tolerant, and the bees love it.
Good characteristics. You've also taken a lot of steps towards water management in terms of conservation and also protecting water quality.
Yes. Yes, I have.
I noticed you installed a rain barrel.
I did. I found a decorative rain barrel and put some petunias in it so that it looks like a large planter, so I can capture or harvest, they call it, harvest the rainwater off the roof. And I use it to water some of the plants up here in the front yard, so I don't have to drag the hose up here.
That's great. Less work and perhaps saving money as well on a water bill.
Yes. Yes.
And then we are standing on a rather unique pathway through your front yard, which also continues in the backyard. And as I understand it, you specifically use this because you wanted permeability.
That's correct. That's correct. A lot of pathways or sidewalks are concrete and patios, and I wanted the stormwater to be able to permeate through and between the stones and be able to percolate down into the soil instead of running off down into the creek. So I have a permeable flagstone walk, and I took out my concrete patio in the back and put a similar flagstone patio in the back, and it's grouted with gravel and mondo grass and dwarf sedums instead of concrete.
Definitely not something you would commonly encounter,
Right.
but fantastic in terms of conservation and water
Yes.
quality protection. Now, in addition to the plants that provide both food in terms of nectar and seeds and act as host plants for your butterflies, you also have some supplemental feeders in the backyard.
Yes, I do. I do. I have a number of tube feeders for black oil sunflower seed that most birds like. I have a peanut feeder that the woodpeckers love to come visit, along with all the other songbirds that are back there. And I have little bowl feeders that I put live mealworms in for the bluebirds and the cardinals, and a Niger seed feeder for the goldfinches, and then 2 bird baths.
Incredible. Hummingbird feeders as well?
Yes, I have 3 hummingbird feeders, and it's just really great to sit out there and watch all the birds come and go and get their food and take it back to their nests and feed their young. It's a lot of fun.
While we were setting up today, I had a chance to kind of just take a few minutes and watch what was going on in the backyard, and got a glimpse of a mother bluebird
Yes.
taking insects back into that nest box.
Yes, this is her 3rd brood this summer.
That is incredible. I was fortunate enough to have 3 in my nest box
Yes.
this year as well. When it comes to wildlife habitat, you have prime real estate. I noticed that you have some bird baths where they could be used for bathing or for drinking, and they have a special component that I understand is to keep mosquitoes away.
That's correct. They have 2 little devices in them. Each one is a dome with batteries in it, and it has a little magnetic stirrer at the bottom, and it's called a water wiggler, and it just keeps the water disturbed enough that the mosquitoes can't lay their eggs, and it keeps it a little fresher, and the motion attracts the birds to come and bathe or drink.
Well, that sounds like a win-win. We're attracting the things that we do want to come to the yard, but
Yes.
deterring those things that might be considered pests.
Exactly.
Well, I know if I was a bird or a butterfly, I would love to come visit your yard.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Before we wrap up for the day, I have something special for you set up in the backyard. So
Okay.
let's go take a look.
All right, let's go.
In recognition of your outstanding efforts in environmentally friendly landscaping, I'm really happy to present to you the engraved marble tile displayed on your bird feeder.
That's beautiful, and it means a lot, and I can't tell you how much I got out of the class, the Carolina Yard class. I learned so many things, and I would encourage any viewer out there to take it when it's being offered, and do what you can to make your yard environmentally friendly.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I am truly inspired by all that you've done, and I look forward to seeing pictures of how things continue to evolve.
Well, thank you, Teresa. Come back anytime.